It's safe to say that one way or another, we were all excited to see Nintendo's super second coming of the entertainment system. Not only that, but we were ready for the many changes that were ahead when making the jump. The design, of course, was questionable, but the cartridges were a step up as they gave us 2 times the bits, which meant 2 times the playing power. But with all the upgrades we see now, the one we're most concerned about here is how was Nintendo gonna follow up on this classic controller that would transcend gaming culture as we knew it? Well, more buttons certainly didn't hurt. This is the SNES controller, the primary controller for the Super NES. It without a doubt stood apart from the original NES controller, but it isn't entirely an original design, as Nintendo came up with this dog bone shape with the NES 2's controller. And if you so happen to have an NES 2 to go with that controller, then leave a comment down below if you're thinking about selling it, because I'd be willing to offer a price. On closer inspection, we can plainly see the D-pad enclosed in this indented circle. It has more of a rubbery feel than a plastic one, which can tend to do better for your thumb so it doesn't slide around the pad. In the middle, we have the start and select buttons that have a 45-degree slant, more on the same lines as the Game Boy, which would make sense as they were both on the market during that time. And for the plebs that can't remember what console this controller goes to, the logo is above the buttons to remind you. Now to the right is perhaps the first of 2 significant upgrades. Not only do we have the A and B buttons, but we also have the addition of the X and Y buttons. 4 buttons in total to give us double the playability to what came before. My big thumb is able to get around all of these buttons without issue, and the buttons are designed smart, where the A and B buttons are rounded out and the X and Y buttons are rounded in. So you'll be able to maneuver around them with your eyes closed if you so wish to choose. Atop is the other significant upgrade, the shoulder buttons. Now I know they get put into some good use, but I haven't really played a game that uses these a whole bunch. The only game that comes to mind is Super Mario Kart for drifting, but that game is so slippery when you turn it isn't worth trying to drift most of the time, but the shoulder buttons still have their place. I mean, they get repurposed to every other controller after it, so you can thank this for that. The only thing left to look over on this controller is the back. And wouldn't you know it, it's as plain as any other. As you can see, it's got nothing but some screws, a random center circle indent, and some model information. Very informational. But now it's time to hook this up and get to playing what it can play. And that being the motherlode of libraries. The SNES controller has the honor of being able to play the greater library of its or any other generation, debatably, as you'll be able to take command of Mario in his all-star venture, Mario in his go-karting pastime, and Mario in his quest for the 7 stars. Of course, there are plenty of others to go around, but I mention Mario a lot to not only bust your balls, but also say those games would be the safer bet to get you accustomed to the controller. Whichever game you play, you'll for sure need the SNES controller, as it is the primary controller that'll grant you access to playing some of the greatest games to ever grace us mere mortals. And with all these additional buttons, you'll be ready to take any and all challenges head on. And yes, it may look better in its foreign colors, but what is color palette when we have a better means to play, huh? Got any fond memories with this controller/accessory? Tell me about it by leaving a comment. If you like what you see, be sure to leave a like. If you think others would like this, share the video around. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button pronto. This is BrianTheBlue, and I'll see you later.